Someone I work with had a little bit of a problem a couple of years ago. He had an oak tree fall on part of his house. So after a bit of time gone by, I offered to make him some pens from the wood from the tree. After a couple of years the wood's pretty much seasoned, so I got a log and made a box, which is a mitered box made out of planks, and a couple of pens. Well, it's actually a pen and a pencil, so these are both ink kits. They're really nice kits. That's a ballpoint pen and this one's a Propelling pencil. It's got a nice sort of rotating action. I also 3D printed a stand, and there's another bit of oak there from the tree, and underneath you've got refills and a second pencil mechanism there. And I also made some pencils out of the oak. There's one there which has been covered with carnauba wax, and one that's just bare oak. Quite fancied making some pencils for a while, and there's a little divider here to keep things safe underneath. That fits back on top, and I've put some soft foam and some crushed velvet in the lid. That closes down and actually holds the pens in place. There's a bit of a spring action there, and that means you can turn the thing upside down and nothing's actually fallen out. They're held secure in the box. The geometry of the box was interesting because as the lid goes back, you can see ordinarily it would have a tendency to tip over, so I've put some feet on the box here which are actually made out of lead, so there's quite a bit of weight in the bottom of the box, and that prevents the lid from causing the box to flip over. So that's the box and pen set I made out of the dangerous oak that fell on his tree, on his house. So that's the box itself. Of course, when you're making a box like this, it's a good idea to have a 3D model of what you're doing, so I made this, which was a model of the full-size box, and the idea behind this was just to check that the dimensions and the geometry of the cut would actually be acceptable. The clasp, I can't get small brass clasps. This one's an eBay clasp, it's okay. This one was machined out of some brass plates. I made this clasp, and it's something I might do a bit more of in the future. So you open it up and you've actually got the same inside. You've got a couple of pens which aren't actually pens. They're mock-ups of the pens. They're very similar. It's made out of the oak and a bit of brass, but these are actually very small pencils. There's a pencil lead, the same lead that's in the Propelling pencil in the main box, and I've put that up in a small hole in the end so you can actually write with them. And underneath the 3D printed stand there's a small pencil which is also made out of the oak, so it's not exactly the same in terms of the insert and so on, but it's not far off. So that was useful when looking at the geometry and so on, and how the box would actually work. The hinges are a bit big there because you can't get really small hinges easily either. These are about the smallest you can easily get, and I might make some more hinges, small ones in the future, but that's okay, it works. It's very similar to the real box. So there we go, 3D model and the real thing.